All right, let's get started. Yes, please, you can have it.
Really?
Yeah.
When I'm 18, I'm gonna go live out in the woods.
Huh?
I said, when I'm 18, I'm gonna go live out in the woods.
Okay, we are recording. Let's get started.
I'm leaving society. I'm leaving it behind. I really am. No, I'm not joking. I'm just coming around here. I'm leaving.
Am I gonna cry?
I don't like this stuff.
I'm going to break it down as much as I can. I'm going to be honest. So we are adding
What?
and subtracting rational expressions. Same kind of problems, different operation. Okay. Like I said, the beginning of what we're working on today, and I'm going to kind of play it by ear, is I am. Yeah. Thank you. So I'm going to say hey to all the peeps listening. Hello. I hope y'all had a good weekend. Hope everybody had fun at prom, for those that went. I got a selfie with Avery Friday.
You did?
Yeah, we did. I got it on my phone.
Oh.
And
I got to make the cupcakes.
I know I heard you made the cupcakes. I heard a bunch of freshmen boys had to set everything up Friday. That was kind of fun. Put them to work. So we're going to focus on least common multiple. Okay, it may be a while.
Do you have a pencil sharpener?
I don't, but I have a pencil up there.
Yeah,
Okay.
for it.
Yes, you can have it. Yeah, no big deal. Yeah. All right. So I'm literally just going to get started with examples. Okay, we're going to have to do several, and I'm okay with that. I planned on this. This is something to add or subtract any fractions, you need a common denominator. We are not talking about whole numbers, though. We're talking about polynomials. So we're going to have different variables, different degrees of functions, and so on. So we're going to do this one section at a time. Okay, so let's start with an example. We have the following: 6xy, 15x squared, and 9xy to the fourth. All right. The directions are find, I'm going to write it kind of small in a different color, my fault. Find LCM, least common multiple, of each set. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write each one over here. So we're going to do 6xy first. We're going to go back to prime factorization. Y'all are old enough and seasoned enough. Those, you should know that in your head, just in case. Take the number 6, break it down. 2 times 3. Good. 2 times 3 times x times y. Just a refresher, these are monomials. Mono means one term. We have 3 separate terms, 1, 2, and 3. Do you remember what separates them? Addition or subtraction. Okay, so let's do the next one. 15x squared. You want to break that down into the prime factorization. Take 15.
5 times 3.
Good. Excellent. 5 times 3.
Times x times.
You got it. So far, so good, right? All right, so the last term is 9xy to the fourth. Go ahead and do that by yourself. Okay, break down 9. You have 3 times 3 times x times y times y times y. Okay. All right, any questions so far? Okay, I really recommend don't cut corners. Okay, now least common multiple. Does anybody remember the least common multiple?
3.
Of all 3? Let me go back.
2.
So I'm gonna go back to let's do least common multiple. Basically, it is the greatest number of times each one appears in each one. Okay? How many times do you see 2 appear? Once. Write it once. Okay, I'm gonna do 3 just because it's the next one. How many times does it appear here?
Once.
Here?
Once.
And here?
Twice.
Twice. So the most it appears is
Twice.
3 times 3. All right, and the next number is simply what?
1.
5, and it only appears how many times?
Once.
Once, so just write it once. Okay, so let me just refresh our memory on this. You're gonna go one number at a time. 2 only appears once, so you write it once. 3 was used several times, so you go one term at a time. 1 here, but the most it's used is twice, so you write it twice. 5 was only used once, so you write it. Okay, now let's do the what?
Greatest.
The X and then the Y, and then we'll do what you said, Jacob. All right, so let's do the X. You're literally counting here. How many times do you see X here?
1.
Here?
Twice.
Twice, and here?
Once.
So what's the most? Twice. And now we have Y. You hopefully know what that one is by now. 4, let's just check. First term was once, second term 0, the last term was 4. There you go. Now, to get your least common multiple, you just multiply it. 2 times 3?
Is 6.
6 times 3?
18.
18 times 5? 90? 90?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and write 90. X times X is X squared. Y 1, 2, 3, 4 is Y to the 4th. Least common multiple.
That's not bad.
It's not. And you will use this to find the common denominator on these rational expressions.
So, if it's a subtract.
We're not there yet.
Okay.
We're just working on getting the common denominator for polynomials.
So it just says what is the least common multiple?
We'll get there. Did you hear what I said? You use this to get the common denominator to add or subtract.
Okay.
You remember when you get the common denominator, you just add or subtract the numerator, right? Remember that? Okay. All right, let's do another one. I'm gonna do a squiggly just because I feel like it. All right, you ready? What's that, sweetie? Oh, I forgot. Friday, when work day. So the reason the TV is there, well, let me back up. The reason the room is this way is because of COVID. Admin wanted our rooms a certain way. Next year, I'm flipping the room and we're going to face that way. If you've been in this room before, it's usually that way, but I don't like walking into kids' backs. You know what I mean? So now you're going to be facing that way. My desk will be here. TV and projector will be there, so I can use whiteboard. Pretty cool, right? I might flip the room before school's over. It's just not priority.
She moved it 4 times because of JP.
It's a weird shaped room, but a lot of the windows are awesome. I'm gonna be honest. I like the windows. All right, so let's do another example. Okay. Let's do this one. 12a squared b, 15abc, and 8b to the 3rd, c to the 4th. I want you to work on this one by yourself. Find the least common multiple. Yes, ma'am.
I was having a question, but for 12, Says there's like 6 and 2 and 4 and 3.
Prime factorization, so you want to do a squared b. I'll start it out. You have 2 times 6, right? But 2 times 6 is 2 times 2 times 3. You got it?
So just like make it smaller.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question.
Mhm.
So for 8, it's 2 and 4, but can you make the.
You have to do 2 times 2 times 2. Okay, prime factorization. You need to break everything down.
Oh, no. Well, that just got so much harder for me.
No, it's, you got it. Just, you can do it on the side. What I would tell my math 1 kids is kind of leave a little section to the side and just do your math. Write it down. There's nothing wrong with that. When in doubt, write it down, okay? 15 should be easy, right? That's 3 times 5.
The 3 appear, or 2 appears 3 times, and I'll write 2 3 times. Even though there's like 5, 2, so I'll write 3 times.
Well, how many times does it appear the most?
3.
Yep.
Oh, I'm done.
And as you're working on this, please keep in mind, we all learn and memorize and think differently. Okay, we're in a high enough math class where what Abby does may not be what Jacob does and what Princess does. We may all do things mentally different, okay? So keep that in mind. All right, so are we finishing?
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at, here's how I broke everything down. Okay, I stress, make sure it's the prime factorization of each whole number. 12 is 2 times 2 times 3. If you want to go back to
What if you did 6 times 2?
you have to prime factorization, okay? 12, 2, 6, 2. You remember doing this? You remember those days? It's been, I don't know how, again, you may know this differently. This is how I would teach prime factorization. 2 times 2 times 3, 2, 2, 3. 15 is easy, 3 times 5. Both of these are prime numbers. 8, you have 2 times 4, and then 4 is 2 and 2. 2, 2, and 2. And the variables are easy, right? That's the easiest part. Okay. So I went ahead and did the 2's. How many times is 2 used in this first term? Twice. How many is it used in the second? 0, right? The third term is 1, 2, 3. 2, 2, and 2. Now let's do 3. At most once, right? It's once here, and 0 here. All right, what's our last one? 5 is only once. Now let's do the variables. A squared, right? I'm going to go ahead and write a squared if you're okay with that. Okay, a twice is a squared. And b's are, the most b's you have out of any term is 3. C to the 4th. So now we have to multiply, and I'm not that sharp.
I got 120.
So you have 2 to the third, yeah, 8, 120.
Yeah.
120 a squared b to the third c to the fourth. There's one more type of least common multiple I want to work on, and it does requiring factoring. Yes, ma'am.
If we multiply it in a different order, would we get a different number?
You should get 120. What'd you do?
240. Maybe I did like an extra 2 or something.
I don't know.
I must have done an extra 2.
You may have.
It's okay, before I realized it, and you kind of got 700.
It's too big. All right, let's do one more least common multiple, and then let's see. All right, so let's do a different kind of problem. Let's remember factoring. Okay, don't forget. Y'all ready?
Oh wait, what's like the answer in the second example?
Right here. 120 a squared b to the third c to the fourth. Okay.
So you can like, when it's like an a squared or like a b, like a cubed b and like the quadruple like c, like, you can like really like multiply those like together.
The variables, you just count them. You have to keep the a's together, the b's together, and the c's together. All right, immediately this should look differently. Do you see? Okay. Hold on one second, and I will do this one with you. I lost mine. There it is. Here is we have 2 trinomials. Remember, trinomials, 3 terms. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. This second one looks easily factorable, right? Okay, let's look at the first one. Anybody got it?
This is way different.
850. Subtract.
Okay. All right. First thing I want you to do is take out a y squared.
I was like,
It may seem harder at first, but once we get what 3? That's well, I took out 2. You still have 1 left. If you look at each 3 terms, I can go ahead and factor out a y squared. It's right there. So I took out that. I have y squared left of that. 1 y, because I took out 2, there's 1 left. This term, it's all right. Let's just keep going and you'll see. It'll come back to you. I promise. And then this one is just normal. So I'm just going to rewrite it. Okay. Now, what I want you to do for this one now looks factorable, right? Go ahead and do the x method for both of these. Leave this y square alone for now. I'm going to write leave alone for now.
340.
So you need factors of 15 that add up to 8. 5 and 3. Good. So you need factors of -40 that add up to -3. Oh, you got this. 8 and 5.
-8.
Right. -8, +5. So now we need to write this in factored form. So y plus 5, y plus 3. Now we're going to bring down this y squared. Just bring it down. Okay, so there it is in factored form. And over here, I'm going to do my comma. We have y minus 8, y plus 5. Okay? So here, now we can actually do the least common multiple. It's right in front of you, you just don't realize it. I'm gonna scoot this up just a little bit. Okay. So we have we have y squared. Is there another y squared? It only appears how many times? Once, write it. At most, y plus 5 is once here and once here, so you just write it once. Okay?
Wait, why are we writing once?
Once here, once here. Just like, hold on, Jacob, look. 5 was once here, so you just write it once there. Okay? Yeah, but it's only once for this
Problem, like that section.
problem. Mm-mm. It's once here and once here. You're gonna see, let me give you a hint. On these kind of polynomials, your least common multiple is going to be long. Let's keep going. Y plus 3 is once here. Do you see it again? No, once. So we've done that. I'm gonna do checks. That. Have we looked at a y minus 8 yet?
No.
No, there's only one. Guess what? Write it. And y plus 5 we've already taken care of, and we're done. That is your least common multiple. That's it. The least common multiple is much more lengthy. Aren't you glad I'm not telling you to multiply on this one? That's it. That's all you do.
Not as hard as it gets.
For the least common multiple, yes. And on that note, let's do another one. You can do these. This is one similar to what we just did. So I'm going to write it slowly in case you're writing that answer. So we're going to have two trinomials, 4a squared minus 12a minus 16, comma, a to the third minus 9a squared plus 20a. Before you get started, let's go back up here and see what we did first. What did we do first right here?
We took out the y squared.
Yes, and I did this a little fast. There was nothing to factor out here, was there? No. Let's look at these two trinomials, the new ones. Look at this first set. I can take out something in this first one. What can I take out? It's a number. Not 2, 4. You see how 4 goes into every term. So you have a squared minus what? 3a minus 4. All right, what about this one? You can take out a variable over here. A. Right, take out an a, and you're left with a squared minus 9a plus what? 20, thank you. So here, I want you to leave this 4 alone for now, and leave this a alone. And now factor the cute little trinomials that are nice and easy, right?
I struggle with these.
Well, it won't go away. So you need factors of -4 that add up to -3. It's going to be -4 and +1. Here you're going to need factors of 20 that add up to -9, -5, and -4. I'm listening.
We keep the 4 out once we.
Leave it alone for now, but you remember when you write it, hold on. I brought it back down. Okay. Watch, I'll go ahead and do it. You can see the arrow. So here's my factors. If you want to check your math, you have -4 and 1. You have -5 and -4. You remember that? -4 and -4 is positive 20. Those two add up to -9. So let's write down our factors. So we have 4, a minus 4, a plus 1. And then over here we have a minus 5, a minus 4. Okay, now least common multiple. It's going to be kind of long. So don't forget, do we have another 4? No, write it. Do we have another a?
No.
Write it. Just write it right next to it. So I'm going to check and check. All right, what about a minus 4? You got 1 here. Write it once. Okay, check that one and check that one. A plus 1. Is there another one?
No.
Nope. And one more. A minus 5. Check. That is the least common multiple.
This is Miller.
Yes.
I was wondering, like, whenever, like, when you have, like, the same terms, like you did, like, for a minus 4, like, on one side, and then you have, like, a minus 4 on the other, how come you, like, only, like, write it, like, once and, like, twice?
So here, everybody look, it's not a bad question. We only write it once. If we wrote it twice, it would have to appear in the same problem, in the same trinomial. If this was a minus 4, a minus 4, we would write a minus 4, a minus 4. Do you see? That's why these are so long. Okay, now I want to do 1, maybe 2 problems. Let me scoot this down. Let's do some adding. Don't worry, I won't start out with some trinomials. We're going to add the following. 3y over 2x to the third plus 5z over 8xy squared. Number 1, find the least common multiple of 2x to the third and 8xy squared. So what you're going to do is what we just did. You're going to have 2x to the third, 8xy squared, so break down 2 is just 2, right? And you have how many x's? 3. 8 is 2 times 2 times 2 times x times y times y. Least common multiple. Let's do the numbers. How many times did we write it the most? 3. So you have 2 times 2 times 2. What's the most x's you see? 3. 1, 2, 3. So you have x to the third. And the most y's we see is 2. Right there. So your least common multiple is 8x to the third y squared. Okay, so just like a fraction, that is our common denominator. So I'm going to kind of do an arrow here. I'm going to do this plus this. And you're going to write 8x to the third y squared Now, here's where we need to go back to our math, learning fractions. The numerators change, right? How do we go from 3y to the right problem? Do I need to do a normal fraction problem, we can remember? I think we should. I'm gonna do pencil. I'm gonna do my scratch work over here, if y'all are okay with that. Give me a fraction. 3/4 plus 5/6.
Would it be 15 for those?
Let's do this and then we'll come back. What's our common denominator? All right, well, let's do it. How'd you get 12? You did it in your head, right? You actually did your least common multiple in your head, but you've just done it for so long. Okay, so you have 12. You go from 4 to 12, right? 4 times what gives you 12? 3. 3 times 3 is 9. You remember?
I mean, kind of.
Okay, so from here you went 6 to 12. 6 times what gives you 12? 2. 5 times 2 is 10, and then you just add them. Okay? Try it on your own. I want to see how you do. This will be maybe our last one. So really, you need to go back to the original denominator. Sorry, I'll scoot. You have 2x to the third. Well, really here.
So it would be 12y plus 5b.
12y.
4 plus 5b. 8 times 8.
Now, hold on. Everybody, you go from 2 to 8. Let's do the numbers first. 2 to 8.
No.
I'm going to go back up here and use a different color. How do you go from 2 to 8? You multiply it times 4. All right, now, x to the third we've already got. So what's left? Y squared. So what you do on the top, the bottom you also do on the top. All right, so 8 and 8, we're done, right? Don't need a whole number. How do you go from 8x y squared to 8x to the third y squared? Is just 1, so we're checked. Do the variables now. Grace, x squared, and that's it. Now you just multiply. 12y to the third, good. And then 5x squared z, scoot up. Weirdly enough, your answer, denominator is 8x to the third y squared. And all you need to do well, you can't add. The terms aren't like terms.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
I have one more question.
Yeah, this is bringing back a lot of sections all at once.
So for the example fraction that we did, would it be 9?
Okay, so I never did finish. 9/12 plus 10/12 is 19/12.
And you just change it into
Right, yeah, but we don't have to do that. Okay, I am changing your homework, so on RenWeb and LMS, it's different because y'all actually went a little farther. So if you will, just bear with me, and I am going to, all right, page 541. Two, 4, 6, 18, 20, and 22. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Y'all pretty awesome, I'm gonna say.
I'm confused on that.
A lot going on.